Hollywood isn't known for people with long shelf lives. Careers can peak early, and lives can get cut short. But there are some actors out there who've defied the odds and lived long, apparently healthy lives. Some of them are even married to each other, which is a feat all on its own.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Born into a military family in 1931, Robert Duvall began his acting training after a stint in the Army during the Korean War. His first film role was Boo Radley in To Kill a Mockingbird, a memorable performance even if the reclusive Radley doesn't chalk up much screen time.
Hey, Boo.
He went on to make a name for himself in notable supporting roles in big-cast blockbusters like MASH and the first two Godfather films, proving that his often quiet performances could express extremes of the human experience. Later on in his career, Duvall branched out into writing, directing, and even composition, writing songs for the tearjerker Tender Mercies. His performance as a has-been country star in that film brought him his first Oscar win after multiple nominations.
Were you really Max Sledge?
Yes, ma'am, I guess I was.
He continued to work through his 70s and 80s, appearing in and writing westerns, action flicks, and crime dramas with credits as recent as 2022. Carol Burnett, born in 1933, has been making audiences laugh since the Eisenhower administration. She made it to New York in 1955 and began landing parts on TV, even making a well-received Broadway debut in the musical farce Once Upon a Mattress. In 1967, Burnett got the chance to headline her own variety show. It was late in the game for that format, but Burnett's charm and slapstick skills, as well as the ability of her ensemble, made it one of the last successes of the variety show genre.
That gown is gorgeous.
Thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it.
The show spun off one of its most popular recurring sketches as the standalone sitcom Mama's Family, which led to a long-time rift between Burnett and colleague Vicki Lawrence. Happily, they've mended their friendship since then. During the legendary comedian's long career in television, Burnett took home 6 Emmy Awards. She also had the uncanny valley privilege of voicing a character in Toy Story 4 named Cheryl Burnett, who happened to be, yes, a chair. Iconic Italian actress Sophia Loren is a legend from the golden age of Hollywood. She was born Sophia Villane Ciccolone in Rome to unmarried parents and raised in poverty-stricken Naples. Not the best recipe for a happy childhood in 1930s Italy.
I was skinny because you shouldn't laugh about that. I had nothing to eat.
Loren was stunning, and her mother started entering her in beauty pageants when she turned 16.
Now there's a lady. I wouldn't mind looking like her.
That's where she was discovered by film producer Carlo Ponti, who would eventually become her husband. Loren's big break came in 1954, when she was cast in Vittorio De Sica's The Gold of Naples. 2 years later, Loren was finally introduced to the American moviegoer in The Pride and the Passion. Over the years, Loren has accumulated an impressive and varied list of film credits, both in comedy and drama. She was nominated for Best Actress in Marriage Italian Style and won for the film Two Women. The American Film Institute ranks Loren as the 21st greatest film star of classic Hollywood.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Born on May 31st, 1930, Clint Eastwood became not only a cinematic icon, but an entire type, thanks to 2 lucky breaks. He was cast as the mysterious man with no name in Sergio Leone's spaghetti western series, The Dollars Trilogy. Then, in 1971, he played the tough-as-nails cop Harry Callahan in the Dirty Harry film series. But that was just the beginning. Already a bona fide superstar, Eastwood tried his hand at directing, and he's arguably just as good behind the camera as he is in front. Over the decades, he's been showered with awards and critical acclaim for films like Unforgiven and $1 Million Baby. In 2024, Eastwood planned for Juror No. 2 to be his last directing project before retiring from showbiz. But he seems to have had a change of heart. As of May 2025, he reportedly had a production in the works, telling a Viennese newspaper, "There's no reason why a man can't get better with age." Eastwood's children, Scott, Allison, and Francesca, have all become actors, so the legacy continues. Multi-hyphenate Mel Brooks was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and by the time he was in high school, he was already an accomplished pianist, drummer, and mimic, having studied under the legendary musician Buddy Rich. After serving in World War II, Brooks worked as a comedian and entertainer at resorts in the Catskills before landing his big break as the co-creator of the quirky spy series Get Smart. Next came his first full-length feature film, The Producers, which he wrote and directed.
Hey, man. I leave you, baby, I leave you.
Despite being hysterically funny, the film didn't do terribly well at the box office, but Brooks won the Oscar for Best Screenplay. These days, The Producers is a cult classic and was later adapted into a hit Broadway musical. Brooks would go on to create other popular parody films, including Robin Hood Men in Tights, Spaceballs, and Young Frankenstein. Brooks was a longtime partner and friend of comedian Carl Reiner. Up until Reiner's death in 2020, the friends saw each other almost daily, spending their 90s trading jokes about entertainment and politics. Brooks was married to actress Anne Bancroft from 1964 until her death in 2005. There's no denying the influence Star Trek played in shaping the sci-fi genre, and a major part of its success came from William Shatner's performance as Captain James T. Kirk. Shatner established himself as a mainstay of pop culture, playing Kirk on 3 seasons of Star Trek: The Original Series, the animated show, and in several motion pictures.
I'm William Shatner, and this is my world.
Born on March 22, 1931, Shatner is most closely associated with the role of Captain Kirk and the Star Trek franchise, but he's played plenty of other memorable characters, including T.J. Hooker, Denny Crane on Boston Legal, and even Two-Face in Batman vs. Two-Face.
Wear your nationality like a flag. Be proud of it. Be proud you're Puerto Rican.
Singer, dancer, and actress Rita Moreno was born in 1931 in Puerto Rico. Her early career was complicated by the limited imaginations of casting directors who only offered her jobs as stereotypical Latinas and assorted tramps. But she received universal acclaim for her performance as Anita in the film version of West Side Story. From there, Moreno spent the next 6 decades and counting appearing in a wide variety of projects, including children's shows like The Electric Company and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, a gender-swapped stage production of the classic comedy The Odd Couple, and a one-woman show titled Rita Moreno, Live Without Makeup. The versatile and charismatic Moreno has racked up a bevy of awards over her long and not yet finished career, in addition to being the second woman and third performer ever to complete an EGOT.
Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony?
Yes, Moreno has the full set. She was also the first Hispanic woman to win an Oscar as Best Supporting Actress for West Side Story. Born in 1934, Shirley MacLaine came to the movie business with a good old-fashioned Hollywood discovery story. MacLaine was the understudy to an actress in a Broadway show called The Pajama Game, and that performer broke her foot. MacLaine stepped into the role and was spotted by a film producer who offered the teenage redhead a Hollywood contract. During her early years, she worked mostly in comedies, likely because of her youthful looks and playful demeanor. She once even danced a can-can for Nikita Khrushchev. As MacLaine grew older, she found her way into meatier, more acerbic parts like the acid-tongued but weirdly lovable Weezer Boudreaux in the film adaptation of Steel Magnolias.
I managed in a few decades to marry the 2 most worthless men in the universe, and then proceeded to have the 3 most ungrateful children.
Off-screen, MacLaine has written a number of books, both about her experience as a working actress and about her spiritual journey and exploration of Eastern spirituality. She continues to act occasionally, too. Her most recent credits dating to 2022, when, at the age of 88, she appeared in Only Murders in the Building, and in case you didn't know, she's Warren Beatty's big sister. Some actors are known exclusively for their work in front of the camera, but over her long, noteworthy career, Lee Grant has also picked up accolades for her efforts behind the scenes, as a director of fiction and documentary films. But the road to a filmmaking career in her own right was a long and bumpy one, and there were times Grant thought she'd never have a career in movies. Grant has confirmed her birthday is Halloween, but she's been cagey about just what year. According to Turner Movie Classics, though, she turns 100 in 2025. In a conversation with Robert Osborne for TCM, she said that her early acting experience and aspirations were all bound up in the New York stage. Hollywood was a glamorous and far-off ideal, but not something she ever imagined for herself. That changed in 1951, when Grant recreated a role she'd played on stage in William Wyler's 1951 adaptation of Detective Story. She got an Oscar nomination and won the Cannes Film Festival Best Actress prize for her work. But Grant's newfound Hollywood stardom was soon derailed when her writer husband was named to the House Un-American Activities Committee. Grant's refusal to testify before the committee landed her on the infamous blacklist.
What kind of people are you? What kind of a place is this?
As a result, she spent 12 years being virtually unemployable, picking up the occasional TV role but nothing else. Her career revived in the 1970s, but since the 80s, her focus has been on directing. Her feature debut as a filmmaker was Tell Me a Riddle in 1980. Michael Caine was born Maurice Joseph Micklewhite on March 14, 1933. After completing his schooling, Caine joined the British military in 1951. His experiences there, especially a life-or-death situation during the Korean War, left a lasting impact on him. After returning from the service and getting married, Caine moved to London to kickstart his acting career, which picked up steam in the 60s, thanks to films like Peter Collinson's The Italian Job. From there, Caine reached peak after peak, staying active in show business for decades and winning a pair of Academy Awards along the way. Modern audiences probably remember him best for his numerous collaborations with British filmmaker Christopher Nolan. Caine played Bruce Wayne's trusty butler, Alfred Pennyworth, in Nolan's 3 Batman movies, while also starring in other Nolan projects such as The Prestige, Interstellar, and Dunkirk.
I give a damn, because a good man once made me responsible for what was most precious to him in our world.
After starring in the 2023 film The Great Escaper, Caine confirmed his retirement from acting to BBC Radio 4's Today, saying, "I keep saying I'm going to retire. Well, I am now. I figured I've had a picture where I've played the lead and had incredible reviews. What am I going to do that will beat this?" They say old dogs can't learn new tricks, but have they met Paul Dooley? The noted character actor has a career going back to New York theater groups of the 1950s, and once he got going, he never looked back.
I want that chubby communist girl off the show.
Dooley initially wanted to be a cartoonist, and his personal website showcases his paintings and drawings, as well as advertising his autobiography, Movie Dad, Finding Myself and My Family. Movie Dad indeed.
You know, I shook hands with Paul Dooley, but I really wanted to hug him. He has played the father in every movie that matters.
Dooley was the family patriarch in Robert Altman's 1970 film A Wedding, Wimpy in Altman's 1980 Popeye, a memorably cranky dad in 1979's Breaking Away, and a decidedly more approachable father in 1984's 16 Candles. Acting has truly been a family affair for Dooley. In 2013, he and his wife, Winnie Holzman, who, no slouch herself, happens to be the co-writer of the Broadway musical Wicked, appeared together at LA's Odyssey Theater in Assisted Living. The husband-wife team of many years wrote the play together, with each of them playing 2 roles. Judd Hirsch was born in the Bronx, New York in 1935. He went to the City College of New York where he earned a degree in physics, but in his late 30s, he turned to acting. He finally landed his breakout role at 43 on the sitcom Taxi. As Alex Reiger, Hirsch led a cast of luminaries like Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito, Andy Kaufman, and Carol Kane, and that show made Hirsch a star.
Maybe it's time for us to shed these old lousy nowhere jobs and find new lousy nowhere jobs.
From then on, Hirsch never left American screens for long, alternating between TV guest spots and films, as well as playing a recurring role on the crime drama Numbers. Over the course of his career, Hirsch has won multiple Emmys and a Golden Globe, along with Oscar nominations for his work in the films Ordinary People and The Fabelmans. As of 2025, he continues to work, with projects still in the pipeline for future release.
Don't with me, and I won't with you.
The Academy Awards database tracks fun statistics for trivia buffs. Among them is a list of the oldest actors and actresses nominated for Best Actor or Actress and Best Supporting Actor or Actress. In third place for the oldest woman nominated for Supporting Actress is June Squibb, nominated at age 84 for her 2013 performance in Alexander Payne's Nebraska. That same performance also won Squibb a Golden Globes nomination. In an interview, Squibb called that role the highlight of her career.
And I thought, oh, what the hell, I can do this, you know?
Born in Vandalia, Illinois, her mother played piano accompaniment to silent films. and partly inspired Squibb's performance in Nebraska. Squibb began her acting career in the St. Louis theater scene, later getting a break on Broadway with a small part in Gypsy. The stage has always remained a major facet of Squibb's career. Besides Broadway, she's appeared in various national tours and summer stock productions. Squibb has also had memorable terms as a character actress in film and television. Her work as Jack Nicholson's wife in About Schmidt, also directed by Caine, so impressed the director that the role of Kate in Nebraska was written expressly for her. When asked about ageism in Hollywood by the Globes, Squibb only said that she'd been a working actress since 1952 and had no plans to change gears. If there's one living actor who embodies the glitz and glamour of old Hollywood, it's Robert Wagner. He lived through it all and was himself a product of 20th Century Fox's studio system. Born on February 10, 1930, Wagner's big break came when the legendary Spencer Tracy took notice and cast him in 1954's Broken Lance and 1956's The Mountain. While Wagner built a solid career in Hollywood, it was his performance as Jonathan Hart in the detective series Heart to Heart that brought him the most attention. Fans couldn't get enough of Wagner and his co-star Stephanie Powers as the rich, beautiful couple being pulled into a world of international crime and mystery. Wagner's career wasn't without controversy, though. Questions still linger about the circumstances surrounding his late wife Natalie Wood's death by drowning in 1981. While officially declared an accident, the ship's captain claimed that Wagner pushed Wood off the boat and tried to cover up the incident. Wagner has always maintained it was a tragedy born from an accident.
Where have you been all my life?
On my knees, scrubbing that waxy yellow buildup.
Marla Gibbs doesn't always receive the recognition she deserves. She was a major presence in the 1970s and 80s television landscape. Born on June 14, 1931, Gibbs came to acting later in life than most. By the time she got her first role, Gibbs was divorced with 3 children and had worked as a receptionist and reservations clerk. After moving to Los Angeles, she signed up for acting classes. Acting had always piqued her interest. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "I always wanted to be an actor because I was a film addict. Joan Crawford, Bette Davis, Joan Caulfield, Joan Fontaine. I had a lot of sheroes." Gibbs first came to prominence on the sitcom scene, starting out by playing Florence Johnston in all 11 seasons of The Jeffersons.
Florence introduced Marla. Without Florence, nobody would know who Marla is.
Gibbs moved on to play Mary Jenkins in 227. Once 227 went off the air in 1990, she continued to work, appearing in everything from Days of Our Lives to Grey's Anatomy. Gibbs also wrote a memoir titled It's Never Too Late, which she hoped would inspire others who wanted to get into acting, no matter their age.
All I know is none of them detergents ever turned my hands soft and white.
Ellen Burstyn was born Edna Ray Galooly in Detroit in 1932, and unfortunately, that name wasn't the worst part of her childhood.
She left her abusive home without finishing high school, finding small parts on TV and the stage both in New York and California as she began to build her career.
When I was 7, I remember writing my first Oscar acceptance speech.
She married Neil Burstyn in 1964, then divorced him in 1972, but ended up keeping his last name. She earned an Academy Award nomination for her work as Sybil Shepherd's mother in 1971's The Last Picture Show, a melodrama about a bleak West Texas town. Burstyn's next major role was as the possessed Reagan's mother in the iconic horror film The Exorcist. She followed it up with a more subdued turn in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Later in her career, Burstyn would play an older woman consumed by addiction in Requiem for a Dream and embodied First Lady Barbara Bush in W.
I'm somebody now, Harry. Everybody likes me.
Her range as an actor is wide and deep, and fortunately for audiences, she continues to work. Since 2008, she's played the recurring role of Bernie, Detective Stabler's mother, across the Law & Order franchise, and she continues to appear on Law & Order Organized Crime as of late 2025.
I met everybody. I met Humphrey Bogart and Lana Turner and Hedy Lamarr and Frank Sinatra, and, it was amazing.
Joan Collins, born in London in 1933, first appeared on stage in 1946 in Henrik Ibsen's A Doll's House, and scored her first screen credit in 1952. Early on, Marilyn Monroe gave her some hard-earned advice.
She said, "Watch out for the wolves in Hollywood, honey."
Since then, she's used her beauty and elegance and her unmistakable British accent to inhabit a non-stop parade of divas, tramps, villains, and vamps, even appearing in borderline soft porn adaptations of some of her sister Jackie's titillating novels. She may be most famous for her stint on the primetime 80s drama Dynasty. as the much-married, many-surnamed Alexis Morel Carrington Colby Dexter, scheming against and catfighting with fellow camp legends like Linda Evans and Diane Carroll.
I'm glad to see that your father had your teeth fixed.
After Dynasty, she returned to the stage, but made time for plenty of TV appearances as either herself or a very, very thinly veiled Joan Collins type. Collins may be in her 10th decade, but she continues to work and make public appearances. Her current husband, number 5 if you're keeping score, Peru-born Percy Gibson, may hold the secret to her longevity. He's 32 years her junior, to the delight of fans of Collins' man-eating cast of characters. Barbara Eden, born in 1931 as Barbara Jean Moorhead, has been working in TV for most of her very long career. One of her earliest credits is a 1957 episode of I Love Lucy. The beaming blonde cemented her place in pop culture and syndication a few years later when she played the scantily clad Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie. The show's premise was deeply silly. Eden played a suspiciously fair Persian genie who lived in a bottle found by an astronaut played by Larry Hagman. Much of the show hasn't aged well, including the fact that Hagman's character had to hide the fact that he now owned a genie who lounged around his place in a sexy harem outfit, leading to magical hijinks. Eden never quite repeated the success she saw as Jeannie, but she's worked consistently in the decades since, mostly on television but with a few forays into film, including the movie version of the country pop novelty hit Harper Valley PTA. She also returned to her signature role in 2 TV movie sequels to I Dream of Jeannie, in one playing both the original character and her evil twin. Judi Dench, born in 1934 in York, England, has been recognized worldwide for her work on stage, on television, and in film. A formally trained stage actress, she's frequently appeared in the plays of Shakespeare, including playing Ophelia in Hamlet, Lady Macbeth, and Cleopatra. She also played Shakespeare patroness Queen Elizabeth in Shakespeare in Love.
Have a care with my name, you will wear it out.
The versatile, always-in-demand Dench also played Elizabeth's indirect successor, Queen Victoria, twice, James Bond's Boss M, a Russian princess in an Agatha Christie adaptation, Shakespeare's wife, Anne Hathaway, and an animated cat in the fever dream film adaptation of the musical Cats. As late as 2019, Dench went to Southeast Asia to film the nature documentary Judi Dench's Wild Borneo Adventure. She's spoken openly about the loss of her sight due to age-related macular degeneration, which has limited her to smaller roles that don't require reading a lot of text. Julie Andrews was born in 1935. Andrews began singing as a child, and she first appeared on a professional stage in 1947.
If you love what you do and you really, really want to do it, then embrace it with all your heart.
Though she found her first big success in Broadway shows like My Fair Lady and Camelot, Andrews' most beloved performances are her star turns in Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music. She struggled to find major roles for a while with the decline of the movie musical, but continued to perform and found the time to write 2 children's books before her career rebounded with more film and television work. In 1997, Andrews' singing voice was badly damaged during a surgery to remove nodules from her vocal cords. This sent the star into a severe depression, which she addressed in part by helping her daughter with writing projects. More recently, Andrews has kept busy writing and acting, and you can hear her beautiful speaking voice as the narrator in Bridgerton. Tom Skerrit was born in Detroit in 1933. He was discovered on stage at UCLA. The lanky, mustachioed Skerrit got his start in TV, building a solid resume of supporting roles until he got a major career boost in the film version of MASH.
Skerrit continued to work in both film and TV, showing up as a guest on 70s mainstays like Beretta and Barnaby Jones, before closing out the decade strong with an appearance in the horror sci-fi classic Alien.
Over the following decades, Skerrit was never out of work. Fans of tearjerkers will remember him as Shelby's father in Steel Magnolias. Sci-fi aficionados were thrilled to see him return to the genre in Contact, and gamers will remember him for his voice work in Gun.
He's still working today, with credits as recent as 2025.
If you grew up in the 1990s, you may recognize William Daniels' face, even if you don't know his name. He was on the long-running sitcom Boy Meets World. After getting his start on the radio via the Nick Kinney Children's Show, Daniels developed a respectable career on the stage. He appeared in the original production of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, among others. But Daniels has a unique claim to fame. He's the only actor to date to have played 3 members of the Addams family. The founding father, that is, not the ooky spooky Addamses. Daniels first landed the role of founding father John Adams in the 1969 Broadway musical 1776, then gave the role another go in the 1972 film adaptation. 4 years later, Daniels played Adams' son, John Quincy Adams, in the PBS miniseries The Adams Chronicles, and he played the president's second cousin, Samuel Adams, 2 years later in the TV movie The Bastard. He later won an Emmy for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series in 1985 and 1986 for his role in TV's St. Elsewhere. Now in his 90s, Daniel enjoys his life at home with his wife, Bonnie Bartlett, who happens to be next on this list. What's better than winning an Emmy? How about winning an Emmy alongside your spouse of 35 years? Bonnie Bartlett and William Daniels did it in 1986, winning for their work playing husband and wife on the TV series St. Elsewhere. 35 years of coupledom probably didn't hurt their on-screen chemistry. In an interview with Aging in High Heels, Bartlett said she got started in acting by imitating Jean Harlow for her family. After an early career in soap operas, she was cast in Little House on the Prairie in 1973, where she played Grace Snyder Edwards for 3 seasons. Best remembered as the ultimate cool Hitchcockian blonde, Tippi Hedren starred in some of the iconic director's most famous movies, including The Birds and Marnie. Born in 1930, Hedren got her start as a model in California. Initially, Hedren did commercial work, and it was through one of her commercials that she was discovered by Alfred Hitchcock, who offered her a 7-year contract and the starring role in The Birds. Working with a legendary director like Alfred Hitchcock should have propelled Hedren to stardom, but sadly, things didn't turn out that way. This was largely down to the fact that Hitchcock was very much a bully, preying on Hedren and frequently sexually harassing her. When she refused his advances, Hitchcock threatened her career, and Hedren called his bluff.
He told me he'd ruin my career. I said, do what you have to do. I don't care. I'm out.
Feeling that any further dealings with Hitchcock weren't worth the stardom, Hedren told Hitchcock to do what he wanted, and the director kept his promise by keeping the star under contract but refusing to cast her in any movies, essentially blacklisting her career. Hedren wouldn't be cast in another major film until 1967, 3 years after Marnie was released. While none of Hedren's future roles carried quite the same prominence as her work with Hitchcock, she managed to find some success on television and became a passionate defender of animal rights. Both her daughter, Melanie Griffith, and her granddaughter, Dakota Johnson, are now well-known film actresses. Born in 1925, dancer, comedian, and actor Dick Van Dyke is still going strong today. After serving in the military during and after World War II, Van Dyke held a variety of acting jobs, including a number of game show host gigs. His big break, however, came when he was cast in the Broadway production of Bye Bye Birdie, which earned him a Tony Award. After his success on Broadway, Van Dyke was approached by Carl Reiner about starring in a sitcom based around Reiner's own experiences as a comedy writer. Van Dyke signed on, and The Dick Van Dyke Show was born. In addition to his TV successes, Van Dyke went on to star in major motion pictures such as Mary Poppins and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. While critics skewered Van Dyke's Cockney English accent in Mary Poppins, he received considerable acclaim for his acting and dancing skills, and his role as Bert is one of his best-known and most highly praised film appearances. Born in 1924, Eva Marie Saint is currently the oldest living Academy Award winner. Saint received her degree from Bowling Green State University in 1946 and jumped straight into a radio acting career in New York City, while simultaneously taking classes at the Actors Studio. Her role in the TV, film, and Broadway production of The Trip to Bountiful attracted Hollywood's much-desired attention, leading to Saint being cast in her debut film On the Waterfront. It was this role that earned Saint her Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. For a long time, Saint was often typecast in parts where she usually played sweet, saintly characters with flowing blonde hair. But she did a turnabout when Alfred Hitchcock cast her in North by Northwest as a dangerous, badass spy, and with a shorter hairdo to boot. After the 1960s, Saint worked more on TV movies than in big-screen films, with her most recent notable role being a voice acting part on the hit cartoon series The Legend of Korra.